Chosen one, lean in and listen carefully, because this message is no ordinary message. At this very moment, 3 separate people are lying awake at night, turning over questions in their minds, wrestling with emotions they can't control, all because of you. Can you feel it? Their souls are restless, their hearts pounding, their thoughts consumed by the light you carry. They don't know about each other. They don't realize that their individual obsessions are like rivers flowing toward a single ocean, and that ocean is you. They have no idea that all their private struggles, suspicions, and secret admiration are about to collide in a divine orchestration that will become the most spectacular, undeniable validation of your true character that anyone has ever seen. You didn't ask for this attention. You didn't stage this collision. You were simply living in your authentic frequency, radiating truth so pure that it disrupted every illusion within reach. Have you ever wondered why your mere existence provokes such intense reactions? Why people either adore you in silent awe or attempt to dismantle you in desperate defense? It's because you are a mirror they cannot avoid. Your authenticity demands that everything false either shatters or transforms. Psalm 23:5 tells us, "You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil, my cup overflows." This is your moment of overflow, chosen one. The tables are being set, the truth is rising to the surface, and your name is being prepared to be spoken in rooms you never even knew existed. I want to take a moment to say thank you, truly, deeply, from the bottom of my spirit. Thank you to every one of you who has supported this journey through your energy, your presence, and especially those of you who have donated through Super Thanks. Your support allows these messages to reach and awaken more chosen ones around the world. But hear me clearly, whether you donate or not, you are deeply valued here. Your spiritual presence is a gift in itself, and I am grateful for every like, every comment, every silent nod you give while watching. And now, I invite you to stand boldly in this moment with me. Type 909919 in comments if you feel the power of this convergence. If you sense that what's about to unfold is not just for you, but for every soul tied to your destiny. When you type 909919, clearing to the universe that you are ready for the divine collision, ready to step fully into your light, and ready to watch every hidden truth rise in your favor. This isn't just another video. This is a spiritual announcement. The divine convergence is upon you. The watchers, the admirers, the cynics, all their stories are spiraling toward one undeniable revelation. You are exactly who heaven declared you to be. The revolution of authenticity is beginning, and you are its chosen proof. Welcome to your destiny. Welcome to the unveiling. Welcome home. God's chosen ones, they're stunned. You're exactly who heaven declared you are. Chosen one, imagine this, there's someone out there right now who has been secretly dissecting every detail of your life for weeks on end. They've stayed up late, combed through your past, replayed your words over and over again, all with one desperate mission: to expose you as a fraud. Can you feel the intensity of their obsession? But let me ask you, why would someone invest so much energy trying to bring you down unless they already sensed that there was something extraordinary about you? Another person is paralyzed, frozen in place by feelings they can't even begin to articulate. Why? Because they believe you are impossibly out of their league. They see a light in you that feels too divine, too pure, too untouchable. Have you ever wondered why people can't find the words when they stand before true greatness? And then there's a third person who watches you from a safe distance, consumed by both terror and awe. Your very existence threatens to dismantle the carefully constructed walls of their cynical worldview. You've become the living proof that authenticity and divine alignment are real, and that terrifies them. What none of these people know is that their separate journeys toward understanding you are all being orchestrated by heaven to converge in one explosive moment. A moment so divine and so undeniable that one of them will be left utterly humiliated, questioning not just their assumptions about you, but their entire understanding of human nature itself. Isaiah 54:1-17 reminds us, "No weapon formed against you shall prosper, and every tongue which rises against you in judgment you shall condemn." Can you see how even the investigations set up to ruin you are actually working in your favor? The scheme that was designed to destroy your reputation is about to become the strongest testimony to your authenticity that anyone could ever imagine. God has a way of turning every plot against his chosen ones into a platform for his glory. The stakes are far higher than you realize, because this convergence is not just about clearing your name, it's about igniting a recognition revolution, a spiritual awakening that will shift how everyone perceives you and force them to reckon with the fact that you truly are who heaven declared you to be. Take, for example, Oprah Winfrey. She was constantly ridiculed and underestimated in her early career, with critics investigating her background to find faults and weaknesses. Yet every attempt to discredit her only magnified her power and authenticity. Or think of Nelson Mandela, who was seen as a threat and watched like a criminal, but in the end he stood as an unshakable symbol of freedom and reconciliation. Can you imagine what would have happened if they had believed the lies spoken over them, instead of standing in their divine truth? Right now, that investigator is staring at evidence so pure and so irrefutable that it makes their stomach churn with a type of embarrassment they've never experienced before. They thought they were smart, thorough, cunning enough to expose a lie, but instead they have unwittingly gathered evidence that proves beyond any shadow of doubt that you are exactly who you have always said you are. The humiliation they feel isn't just professional, it pierces to the deepest layers of their soul. Have you ever thought about how painful it is for someone to realize they spent all their energy fighting the wrong battle? Psalm 23:5 says, "You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil, my cup overflows." Are you ready to watch God set that table for you? Just like Joseph in the Bible, whose brothers sold him into slavery thinking they were ending his dreams, they were actually positioning him for the throne of Egypt. In the same way, the traps set for you are elevating you toward your divine destiny. And this investigator, they're about to do something so shocking that it will leave everyone speechless, including you. Imagine someone who once mocked you now publicly defending you. Can you sense the power of that reversal? Picture Steve Jobs, a man forced out of his own company, later returning to lead it into its golden age. His rejection became his greatest vindication. Or think about Malala Yousafzai, shot for daring to stand up for girls' education. The very attack intended to silence her only amplified her voice across the entire world. Romans 8:28 promises us, "And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love him, who have been called according to his purpose." Everything, even your enemy's plots, is working together for your elevation. So, chosen one, are you ready to watch the stage that God is setting just for you? Are you prepared to witness the divine plot twist that will prove you are exactly who heaven declared you to be? This is not just a story about vindication. This is your prophecy unfolding before the eyes of everyone who doubted you. The question is, will you embrace it fully and walk boldly into this moment that heaven has been preparing for you since the beginning of time? Chosen one, let me take you deep inside the labyrinthine mind of someone who has been secretly, obsessively trying to dismantle your credibility. Picture this person hunched over notebooks, replaying conversations, dissecting your every move like a scientist, examining an exotic creature. They have convinced themselves they're the noble hero in this story, the righteous one destined to unmask you as a fraud. But have you ever asked yourself, why would someone dedicate so much energy to tearing you down, unless they already sensed your light was too bright for them to ignore? For weeks, they've been constructing what they believed was an airtight case against you. They weren't satisfied with simple observations or rumors. No, they designed elaborate moral tests meant to corner you, to push you into situations where you'd have to pick between your declared values and a tempting immediate gain. Did you notice when certain friends started asking suspiciously specific questions about your past? Did you feel the strange energy in conversations that seemed innocent but somehow invasive? All of this was orchestrated by this investigator who has been searching for any crack in your armor. James 1:12 declares, "Blessed is the one who perseveres under trial, because, having stood the test, that person will receive the crown of life that the Lord has promised to those who love him." You didn't just stand the test, you walked through it unaware and yet victorious. Can you see how heaven was silently equipping you even when you thought you were just living your normal life? This person believed with unwavering certainty that no one could possibly be as authentic as you seem. Your unwavering consistency offended them, your moral backbone unsettled them, your integrity looked so immovable that it began to reveal the shadows in their own heart. They reasoned that if they could prove you were fake, then all their masks, lies and games would feel justified. If they could expose you as deceptive, then their own manipulations would appear human and excusable. But what happens when their plan unravels before their very eyes? What if instead of unmasking you, they accidentally unmask themselves? Think about Princess Diana, a woman relentlessly pursued, scrutinized and portrayed in every possible light by the media. Yet through all the investigations and invasive tactics, her genuine compassion and authenticity only shone brighter. Or consider Martin Luther King Jr., who faced constant surveillance and attempts to discredit him. Every effort to trap him only strengthened the proof of his unwavering mission and character. Doesn't it make you wonder why true light cannot be dimmed, no matter how fiercely darkness fights it? As each trap was laid, you passed through it with such natural grace and honesty that it left them speechless. Every time they tried to expose you, they ended up exposing another layer of your unwavering soul. They are now standing on the precipice of their greatest fear, that you truly are exactly who you say you are. This is more than just a failure for them, it's an existential crisis. Romans 12:2 instructs us, "Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind." Your life, chosen one, is a living sermon of this verse. You have refused to bend, refused to lower your standard, and in doing so you've held up a mirror that forces others to confront the hollowness of their own justifications. Look at Elon Musk, constantly doubted and attacked, ridiculed for his ideas, but each failure and each trial only revealed his genuine belief in his mission to change humanity's trajectory. Or think about Rosa Parks, whose quiet act of sitting where she wasn't supposed to revealed the moral bankruptcy of an entire system. Do you see the pattern? Heaven uses chosen ones to shake up the world's illusions and expose hidden truths. Proverbs 10:9 reminds us, "Whoever walks in integrity walks securely, but whoever takes crooked paths will be found out." Your integrity is not only protecting you, it's turning every attack into a new layer of divine testimony. Now their humiliation is reaching a crescendo, a symphony of self-exposure they can no longer escape. It's no longer just about proving you wrong. It has turned into a painful confrontation with their own capacity for deception and self-betrayal. They will be forced to stand in the raw light of your authenticity, and in that moment, every mask they've worn will crack. So, are you ready for this divine unveiling? Are you prepared to see your enemies become unwilling witnesses to your true identity? This isn't just a test you've passed. It's a revelation to the world that you are exactly who heaven declared you to be. And that, my friend, is a victory no one can ever take from you. Chosen one, let's step into the heart of another soul who's been silently orbiting around you, carrying a story so delicate it could either break them into pieces or transform them completely. While the first investigator has been obsessively trying to dismantle your authenticity, this second person has been busy building an altar to your presence in their mind. They've constructed an image of you that is so impossibly elevated, so mythically flawless, that they can hardly breathe when they're near you. Can you imagine living each day believing that someone you admire is far beyond your reach? Have you ever wondered what it does to a person's spirit when they convince themselves they're unworthy of something they deeply desire? Every time they see you overcome trials with divine grace, they weave another golden thread into the tapestry of your perfection. In their imagination, you are surrounded by people who are more beautiful, more accomplished, and more deserving than they could ever dream to be. They think, how could I possibly be chosen by someone who seems to have the entire universe at their feet? But here's the cruel irony. In every interaction, you have made them feel seen, cherished, and deeply valued. You've never once used your confidence to diminish them. You've never weaponized your light to cast shadows over anyone else. John 15:12 says, "My command is this, love each other as I have loved you." You, chosen one, embody this command effortlessly. You don't just talk about love, you live it. Your warmth and genuine spirit have been a mirror for them to see their true worth, even when they refuse to look. Yet despite all of this, they continue to torture themselves with the belief that they're not good enough for you. Why? Because they are entangled in a narrative about their own worth that has nothing to do with you and everything to do with old wounds and silent insecurities. They assume you must judge them as harshly as they judge themselves. Isn't it heartbreaking to see how often we become prisoners of our own stories rather than the truth before us? Think about the actor Keanu Reeves, a man often described as too humble, too gentle for the harshness of Hollywood. Many believed he didn't fit in, yet he's beloved precisely because of his gentle authenticity. Or consider the late Princess Diana again. Despite her global admiration, she struggled deeply with feelings of unworthiness and not being enough. Can you see how even the most admired souls fight silent battles against their own reflections? Isaiah 43:4 reminds us, "Since you are precious and honored in my sight, and because I love you, I will give people in exchange for you, nations in exchange for your life." You have treated this person as precious without even knowing the depth of their inner war. Through your pure presence, you've modeled unconditional acceptance, a living testimony to this verse. As they watch you handle the investigators' schemes with unwavering strength and radiant grace, they are beginning to see the truth. Their fear of being vulnerable with you isn't about you at all. It's about their fragile relationship with their own sense of worth. They're realizing you never required them to perform or prove themselves. You only ever reflected back to them the love they denied themselves. Think of J.K. Rowling, who before becoming one of the most beloved authors in the world, was rejected numerous times and struggled deeply with self-doubt. Her transformation into a symbol of resilience and creative courage was triggered when she finally stopped internalizing others' rejections and started believing in her own value. Or consider Michael Jordan, famously cut from his high school basketball team, who later became the greatest basketball player of all time. He turned private feelings of inadequacy into unstoppable momentum. Romans 5:8 proclaims, "But God demonstrates his own love for us in this: while we were still sinners, Christ died for us." This second person is about to understand that their value is not contingent on perfection or social worthiness, but on an unchanging divine love. Their breakthrough is coming, a moment when they'll realize that the story they've been clinging to was never about you. It was a prison built from their own insecurities. This realization is snowballing into a surge of courage so strong it will shock everyone, even themselves. Can you feel the electricity in the air? Can you sense the moment when they will finally choose to step into the truth of who they really are? So, chosen one, are you prepared to witness the quietest person in the room become the boldest? Are you ready to see how your simple acts of love and authenticity have planted seeds of transformation in someone who thought they could never bloom? This isn't just a love story, it's a liberation story, and you, beloved, are the catalyst heaven chose to awaken them. Chosen one, let's look deeply into the soul of this third person, the one whose transformation might be the most earth-shattering of all. Their journey isn't just about you, it's about dismantling an entire fortress of beliefs that have shielded them from disappointment their entire life. Imagine a person who has spent decades convinced that every human being is fundamentally selfish, that true goodness is a fairy tale meant for children, and that anyone who appears genuinely caring must surely have some hidden agenda. Can you feel the walls they've built? Can you sense the armor they've worn for so long just to survive? Your existence has become an unsolvable riddle in their worldview. You don't fit into any of the categories they've created to stay safe. They have always believed that if they expect betrayal, they can never truly be hurt. If they assume everyone is playing a game, then their own manipulations become justified. If deep, authentic connection doesn't exist, then their loneliness becomes an intelligent strategy rather than a wound to heal. But you, chosen one, have become the walking contradiction to everything they've ever believed. Watching you is like seeing someone walk on water. It shatters the very laws they thought governed human behavior. Matthew 5:16 declares, "Let your light shine before others, that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven." Your light isn't just bright, it's revolutionary. It doesn't just challenge opinions about you, it dismantles the entire framework they've depended on to justify their isolation and guardedness. Think about Fred Rogers, Mr. Rogers, a man who devoted his entire life to kindness and genuine connection, despite skeptics accusing him of naivety or false sincerity. His radical gentleness forced millions to reconsider what it means to truly care. Or consider Malala Yousafzai, whose fearless advocacy for education shamed cynics who thought the world was too cruel for real change. Don't these examples remind you that true light exposes the lies we tell ourselves to stay comfortable? As this third person watches you, a crisis is building in their heart. If you are real, if someone can actually live with the unwavering integrity and luminous consistency that you embody, then what justification do they have for all their compromises? What excuse do they have for settling for shallow relationships, for avoiding vulnerability, for choosing numbness over connection? 1 Peter 2:12 encourages us, "Live such good lives among the pagans that though they accuse you of doing wrong, they may see your good deeds and glorify God on the day He visits us." Your life, chosen one, has become a living challenge to the cynical agreements they've made with themselves. Every silent act of kindness, every moment of unwavering grace, each choice to remain authentic rather than transactional, it all chips away at the walls they thought would protect them forever. Look at Howard Schultz, former CEO of Starbucks, who grew up in public housing and was deeply skeptical of big dreams. Watching small acts of support from his community shattered his cynicism and inspired him to create a company based on connection and shared human experience. Or think of Nelson Mandela again. Decades in prison could have made him permanently bitter, yet he emerged as a symbol of forgiveness and authentic leadership that forced even the most jaded to question their beliefs about human nature. Romans 12:21 tells us, "Do not be overcome by evil, but overcome evil with good." You, chosen one, have become living evidence of this verse. Your presence challenges them to consider that there might be more to life than survival and strategy. You show them that love, real community, and integrity aren't just fantasies. They're possible, tangible, and transformative. Their transformation is now teetering on a knife's edge. They are approaching a tipping point where they will either reinforce their cynicism, retreating even further into isolation, or they will allow your example to blow open the prison doors of their heart. Imagine the power in that moment, the trembling vulnerability of finally believing that maybe, just maybe, true connection exists and that they too might be worthy of it. Chosen one, can you feel it? The divine orchestration at play, the invisible threads weaving these three stories into one breathtaking tapestry that will soon explode into a moment of undeniable truth. All three of these journeys, the investigator's relentless pursuit, the admirer's silent reverence, and the cynic's internal battle, are about to collide in a way that will become the most powerful validation of authentic living any of them, or anyone else around them, has ever seen. Have you ever wondered why so many eyes are suddenly drawn to you? Why so many hearts feel an unexplainable pull toward your light? What none of these individuals have understood is that their private obsessions with you have not been isolated. In fact, they have been unknowingly collaborating in a chain reaction orchestrated by heaven itself. The investigator, driven by a need to destroy your credibility, has been pulling in others as informants, asking probing questions, sharing suspicions, and planting seeds of doubt. But here's the unexpected twist. Every person they've approached has started watching you more closely, not to catch you falling, but to understand what makes you worthy of such fierce scrutiny. Their suspicion has turned into intrigue, and that intrigue has evolved into silent respect. Proverbs 27:7 says, "Iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another." Without even realizing it, the investigator has been sharpening the community's focus on you, causing a ripple effect that only strengthens your testimony. Imagine how Moses, under constant watch and criticism, ultimately led an entire nation to freedom, not by defending himself, but by letting his unwavering obedience to God speak for him. Meanwhile, the admirer's visible struggle to find the courage to connect with you has not gone unnoticed. Mutual friends, people who thought they knew this person so well, have been left puzzled and fascinated. How could someone who exudes confidence in every other area become utterly speechless and shy in your presence? Their curiosity has become a silent invitation to observe you more deeply. They see the way you treat every person with warmth, respect, and a sense of sacred presence. This alone has started to shift hearts and break down old judgments. Think about Lady Gaga, who has inspired millions through her vulnerability and authenticity. People see her open heart and raw honesty, and they can't help but look closer, drawn into her world. Or consider Jim Carrey, who beyond his comedy shocked the world with deep spiritual insights that challenged cynicism and inspired millions to search for deeper meaning. Your presence, chosen one, has that same power to disarm and inspire. Then there's the cynic, who is struggling with your light in public settings. Their visible discomfort, the awkward silences, the avoided eye contact, the subtle criticisms have all become loud clues to onlookers. People start to wonder, what kind of person has the power to unbalance someone so sure of themselves? Their resistance has ironically spotlighted your integrity even more. It reminds us of the story of Nicodemus in John 3, a Pharisee who was secretly drawn to Jesus because his light exposed the cracks in rigid religious systems. Romans 8:31 asks us, if God is for us, who can be against us? Your authenticity, chosen one, is God's loudest yes over your life, and no cynicism or investigation can stand against it. Through all this observation, questioning, and quiet surveillance, something extraordinary has begun to form, a growing collective realization of who you really are. This revelation isn't being built on carefully managed narratives or rehearsed public relations strategies. It is being forged in the furnace of real-life moments under pressure. People aren't just hearing about your authenticity, they're seeing it for themselves. Think about Malala Yousafzai once more. Her attackers intended to silence her, but in the process they unintentionally gathered the world's attention to witness her courage. Or look at Elon Musk, whose every move is dissected by critics and fans alike, yet the continuous scrutiny only strengthens the evidence of his unwavering vision. 3 Timothy 4:12 reminds us, set an example for the believers in speech, in conduct, in love, in faith and in purity. You, chosen one, are doing exactly that. Your life is an open letter, a living sermon, being read and studied by everyone around you, even those who intended to harm you. The investigators' imminent breakdown is going to act as a final catalyst. Their public unraveling will shock everyone who trusted their narrative, accelerating this collective awakening faster than anyone could have anticipated. Can you feel the moment approaching when even your greatest doubters will have to admit the undeniable? So, chosen one, are you ready to see your light vindicated in the most unexpected ways? Are you prepared to witness a divine domino effect that not only elevates you but also awakens everyone watching to the possibility of a life lived in fearless authenticity? Heaven is about to showcase you as a living testament to divine truth, not by your striving but by simply being who you were created to be. Will you embrace this unveiling with the quiet power that only the truly chosen can carry? Chosen one, everything you've been sensing lately, that eerie feeling of eyes on you, that strange tension when you enter a room, those curious questions meant to catch you off guard, it's all about to make perfect sense. You might have thought you were just imagining it, but every whisper, every lingering glance, every awkward silence has been part of a larger divine tapestry. Can you feel the hidden movement beneath the surface? The hidden threads weaving these three stories together are revealing a deeper truth, not just about them, but about the incredible power you carry simply by existing. These three people, each lost in their private storms, are about to face a revelation so profound it will shake them to their core. The investigator's obsession with exposing you isn't really about you. It's a defense mechanism born from childhood wounds, from growing up surrounded by people wearing masks so convincing they forgot who they were. Their hypervigilance became their armor, a way to protect themselves from deception by assuming everyone was hiding something. But what happens when they encounter someone whose entire being radiates authenticity? Your unwavering light forces them to ask the terrifying question, what if genuine people do exist? What if they've been destroying potential connections all along with their endless suspicion? The admirer, on the other hand, carries a wound of a different kind, a wound that whispers, you must be perfect to be loved. They've spent their entire life trying to earn affection, believing that only flawless people are worthy of real love. Your quiet confidence, your natural grace, triggers their deepest shame. If you are as radiant as you appear, how could you possibly see value in them? They interpret your kindness as pity, your interest as polite courtesy. Can you see the tragedy of someone interpreting love as condescension? And the cynic, oh, the cynic. Their armor is forged from a lifetime of betrayal so deep they chose to abandon hope entirely. Their faith in human goodness shattered so completely that they built an identity around expecting the worst. But your consistent warmth, your genuine spirit, challenges their deepest fear. What if they've been cutting themselves off from the very connections that could have healed them? What if their fortress of cynicism has been their biggest prison? John 8:32 tells us, "Then you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free." Chosen one, your very presence is this liberating truth. You didn't come to judge them. You didn't come to expose them. You simply came to live as you are, and in doing so, you have unknowingly triggered a healing crisis in each of them. Consider Nelson Mandela, who chose reconciliation over revenge, transforming even the most cynical observers into believers in forgiveness. Or Malala Yousafzai, whose unwavering courage in the face of violence shattered countless assumptions about what is possible. Think also of Fred Rogers, whose quiet kindness revolutionized what it meant to be truly present with others, inviting millions to rethink their capacity for gentleness. Finally, look at Keanu Reeves, whose humility in an industry built on ego has softened even the most skeptical hearts. Can you see yourself among these souls, chosen one? Romans 12:9 urges us, "Let love be genuine, abhor what is evil, hold fast to what is good." You've embodied this without effort, without agenda. Your unconscious power, this ability to provoke transformation simply by standing in your truth, is a clear sign of your chosen status. You're like a living mirror, reflecting back to people the gap between who they are and who they pretend to be. For the investigator, every trap they set for you has only illuminated their own manipulations. Each attempt to expose you has been an accidental confession of their own strategies and fears. You've been holding up a mirror to their soul, and they can no longer look away. For the admirer, your natural ease and unwavering kindness have been revealing a new paradigm of self-worth, one not rooted in achievements or perfection, but in being. They're starting to see that love doesn't have to be earned. For the cynic, every choice you make that favors connection over defense, openness over armor, proves that vulnerability isn't a curse but a bridge. 1 John 4:18 reminds us, "There is no fear in love, but perfect love drives out fear." You, chosen one, have been driving out fear without even knowing it. While these three have been analyzing and dissecting your every move, you've simply been living authentic, trusting, open, and this silent, unwavering authenticity is the very thing healing them. Then comes the moment. Disguised as just another ordinary day, the investigator sets what they believe is the ultimate test, a situation so carefully designed that you must choose between your values and personal gain. They believe they will finally catch you, finally expose the fraud they've convinced themselves you must be. But when you think no one important is watching, you act with effortless integrity, not as a performance but as a pure extension of who you are. Ephesians 5:13 promises, "But everything exposed by the light becomes visible, and everything that is illuminated becomes a light." In that moment, the investigator's entire mental fortress collapses. Their elaborate justifications for deception, their excuses for manipulation, all dissolve in an instant. They are forced to confront the unbearable truth. They were never protecting others. They were protecting themselves from the terror of facing their own emptiness. The humiliation they feel is not just about being wrong about you. It is the devastating realization that they've been the problem all along. The composed mask they wore so proudly shatters into visible anguish. Those who once trusted their suspicions begin to question their sudden, raw collapse. The admirer, watching this meltdown, begins to awaken. If someone could be so thoroughly wrong about you, then maybe they too have been wrong about their unworthiness. Chosen one, this is the moment when everything begins to crystallize. The cynic, the one who has built a fortress of sarcasm and skepticism around their heart, is now standing at a crossroads they can no longer avoid. Watching the investigator crumble into raw confession and seeing the admirer step forward with newfound bravery, the cynic faces a decision that will either liberate them or imprison them further. Can you feel the weight of this choice in the air? They have to decide. Will they continue hiding behind their protective cynicism, dismissing everything as foolish idealism? Or will they surrender to the possibility that authentic connection, the very thing they claim doesn't exist, has been alive and present before them all along in you? As these three stories weave together, something miraculous begins to happen. The network of observers who have been quietly watching you, colleagues, friends, acquaintances, start sharing their own small but profound experiences with your kindness and integrity. The investigators' previous accusations begin to dissolve under the weight of their visible breakdown. Their reversal is so public and genuine that it acts like a catalyst, forcing others to rethink every negative thing they'd ever heard about you. It reminds us of the story of Saul, who became Paul after his own radical transformation, The same man who once persecuted believers became their greatest advocate, Acts 9:1 2010. Isn't it powerful how those who once sought to destroy the light often become its loudest supporters? Meanwhile, the admirer, emboldened by the shifting energy and collective awakening, finally finds the courage to step forward. They no longer view your kindness as pity, but as an invitation to rise. They are ready to share the story of their hidden fears, those moments they held back when they most wanted to connect. Can you imagine the trembling of their heart as they prepare to stand naked in their vulnerability before you? In that trembling lies the seed of true transformation. Their courage mirrors the journey of people like Brené Brown, who has taught millions the power of vulnerability to transform shame into connection. The cynic, once the loudest doubter, makes the most surprising move of all. They ask you to guide them. They're not asking for superficial advice. They want to understand the core of your being. How did you become someone whose integrity feels like a gravitational force? How did you remain true to your essence in a world obsessed with masks and performances? Their request is a testament to the magnetic power of authenticity, echoing the stories of seekers like Nicodemus, who came to Jesus under the cover of night, desperately craving truth despite his public persona. John 3:1-21. Romans 15:1-2 urges us, "We who are strong ought to bear with the failings of the weak and not to please ourselves. Each of us should please our neighbors for their good, to build them up." Chosen one, your next steps carry a weight far beyond personal relationships. They are blueprints for a new way of being that others will follow. You will find yourself standing at the epicenter of this spiritual convergence, a point where time feels both compressed and eternal. You will be asked to decide, will you extend grace, inviting each of these souls deeper into your orbit, guiding them gently toward their higher selves? By doing so, you would embody the radical leadership that true chosen ones are destined to demonstrate, turning suspicion into trust, self-doubt into confidence, and cynicism into faith. This is the same kind of divine grace modeled by Nelson Mandela, who chose reconciliation over revenge, proving that true strength lies in mercy. Or perhaps you will choose to set firm boundaries, making it clear that while you accept their realizations and growth, there are consequences for their previous betrayals and doubts. This would teach them that being chosen does not mean allowing endless chances or enabling harmful behavior. You would show them that authentic love still requires respect and accountability, mirroring the story of Joseph in Genesis 45. Though he forgave his brothers, he also tested their hearts before revealing his identity and offering reconciliation. A third option might call to you selective engagement. Here, you would respond differently to each person, depending on the depth of their sincerity and the level of their transformation. You might fully embrace the admirer who comes to you open-hearted and trembling with truth. You might cautiously guide the cynic, watching for sustained growth before deeper connection. And you might accept the investigator's apology while maintaining a protective distance, ensuring their transformation is real before inviting them closer. Proverbs 4:23 reminds us, "Above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it." In this choice, you would demonstrate divine discernment, the kind of wisdom that distinguishes between surface-level change and genuine soul evolution. Imagine the ripple effect of your decision. These three individuals won't just shift their personal feelings about you, they will rebuild their entire understanding of relationships, worthiness, and truth. The investigator, once obsessed with control, will learn to approach others with openness and curiosity instead of suspicion. The admirer, once paralyzed by unworthiness, will begin to show up in every aspect of their life with courage and authenticity. The cynic, once armored against disappointment, will start risking connection and rediscover the beauty of vulnerability. Their transformation will inspire those around them to reevaluate their own ways of relating to the world. A new consensus about you will spread like wildfire, not manufactured through image control or strategic networking, but born from the raw, undeniable truth of your everyday existence. Philippians 1:6 assures us, being confident of this, that he who began a good work in you will carry it on to completion until the day of Christ Jesus. Chosen one, this convergence is proof that the good work happening through you is only beginning. Your life has been preparing you for this leadership, for this divine unveiling. You are about to become a living example that authentic living isn't just possible, it's transformative on a community level and beyond. Think of Oprah Winfrey, who turned personal wounds into a platform for healing millions, or Maya Angelou, whose life became a testimony to the power of rising beyond abuse, racism and shame to embody grace and courage. Like them, your authenticity is creating a resonance that will echo far beyond your immediate circle. As you stand at this sacred intersection, ask yourself, what kind of leader are you called to be? What legacy are you building with each choice you make? Will you be the embodiment of radical grace, the firm guardian of sacred boundaries, or the wise shepherd who meets each soul exactly where they are? Whatever you choose, it will come not from reaction but from clarity, from the deepest wells of your spirit rather than the surface ripples of emotion. It will show the world that chosen ones move not to please others, not to prove themselves, but to remain aligned with their divine purpose. Chosen one, let's pause here and take a deep breath, because what you're about to hear might sound like a story from another realm, and yet it's all profoundly true. I want to introduce you to a few individuals who by all worldly logic shouldn't exist. Imagine a trained occultist who broke free from a satanic coven after decades of dark manipulation and spiritual bondage. Think of a former Black Ops drone pilot who once controlled lethal swarms with nothing but the focused power of his mind. Visualize a multi-millionaire CFO who, using nothing but her spiritual gifts, predicted catastrophic market shifts before they even showed on Wall Street's radar. What could these seemingly impossible people have in common? They all found each other within the sacred circle known as the Obsidian Inner Order. This isn't a place for casual curiosity, it's a sanctuary for souls who have traveled through lifetimes of hidden knowledge and spiritual warfare. These chosen souls answered a deep call, a call that you too are hearing right now. Can you feel it? That subtle but undeniable pull towards something greater, something older than this lifetime. You might wonder, what keeps you from manifesting the same radical authenticity and extraordinary power? What invisible chains are still holding you back? Just like these individuals, your discovery of this message isn't random. You were led here because your spirit has been seeking a tribe that sees you fully, without doubt or dismissal. John 10:27 tells us, "My sheep hear my voice, and I know them, and they follow me." You have heard this divine call, and now, like them, you are being asked to step forward. These extraordinary souls didn't arrive by accident. Each synchronicity, each improbable encounter, was meticulously orchestrated by the divine to gather warriors, mystics, and seers in one place. The Archons, those forces that thrive on control and spiritual suppression, tremble when they sense us uniting. They know what happens when the truly awakened recognize each other and combine their power. Have you ever felt like no one could possibly understand your visions? That your spiritual experiences are too intense to share openly? In the Obsidian Inner Order, there are no masks, no polite dismissals, only souls who have walked through fire and returned with treasure. Imagine joining weekly calls where these individuals share raw, unfiltered stories of impossible escapes, psychic breakthroughs, and divine interventions. Picture yourself finally sharing your own hidden journey with people who won't flinch or judge. What would it feel like to finally be received and seen in your fullness? Hebrews 10:24-25 urges us, "And let us consider how we may spur one another on toward love and good deeds, not giving up meeting together, but encouraging one another." This is not just a call to gather, it's a call to spiritually fortify each other. Click the link in the description below and join us. The question isn't whether you belong among them. It has never been about worthiness. It's about readiness. The real question is, how much longer will you delay stepping into the circle where your power is not only welcomed, but amplified? Now, let's return to your immediate story. The transformation you've catalyzed is not confined to personal healing. It's sparking a collective awakening. The investigator, who once dedicated themselves to dismantling your character, is going to become one of your most powerful advocates. Their story, from suspicious accuser to devoted ally, will ripple out through your entire community. Their testimony will become a lighthouse for others drowning in distrust, proving that even the most guarded hearts can find redemption and purpose when exposed to pure authenticity. Think of Paul's transformation from persecutor to apostle. His journey became a pillar for early believers, proving that no one is too far gone to become an instrument of divine work. Acts 9. The admirer's journey doesn't end with a confession. Once they find the courage to be vulnerable with you, they will carry that newfound bravery into every relationship they touch. Their openness will inspire others to drop their masks, to risk the pain of rejection for the reward of true connection. Their story will teach that self-worth is not a prize to be earned through perfection, but a gift to be claimed through courage. Consider the story of Brené Brown, who turned her own shame research and vulnerability struggles into a global movement, helping millions understand that authenticity is the birthplace of love and belonging. Your admirer will become a living echo of this truth. Meanwhile, the cynic's transformation might be the most miraculous of all. They will begin to dismantle the fortress of pessimism that has long protected them from imagined betrayals. As they slowly open, they will examine each choice, each value, and each belief that once justified their isolation. Step by step, they will start to align their inner world with the kind of love and integrity they once dismissed as fantasy. Ezekiel 36:26 promises, "I will give you a new heart and put a new spirit in you. I will remove from you your heart of stone and give you a heart of flesh." The cynic's metamorphosis will become a living testament to this verse. Look at Robert Downey Jr., who transformed from an icon of chaos and addiction into a symbol of resilience and redemption. His story showed the world that profound transformation is always possible, even from the most cynical, hopeless places. As these three souls blossom, their journeys will light fires in countless others. People observing from afar will begin questioning their own stories of worthiness, their own walls of cynicism, and their own fear of connection. Your life, chosen one, becomes the spark that sets an entire forest ablaze with awakening. Can you see it now? You are not just a healer of individuals, but a catalyst for collective resurrection. While you might have thought you were simply living your truth, your every breath has been orchestrating a silent revolution in hearts that have long forgotten how to hope. 2 Corinthians 3:2-3 reminds us, "You yourselves are our letter, written on our hearts, known and read by everyone. You show that you are a letter from Christ, written not with ink but with the Spirit of the living God." You are that living letter, chosen one. Your life is not a silent manuscript, but a living, breathing testimony read aloud by the universe itself. So are you ready to step into the fullness of this assignment? Are you willing to become the lighthouse, not just for those you know, but for an entire generation yearning to remember what is true? The stories you've set in motion will echo far beyond your current circles, calling home souls you may never even meet in this lifetime. Chosen one, what if I told you that the echoes of your authenticity are about to ripple far beyond anything you could have imagined? As word spreads about these three dramatic transformations, the investigator's complete reversal, the admirer's bold emergence, and the cynic's surprising surrender, you will find yourself receiving recognition from the most unexpected places. People who once watched from a safe distance, skeptical and reserved, will start leaning in with curiosity. They'll ask, what changed them so completely? How could one person become the catalyst for such radical public metamorphoses? The investigator's transformation in particular will become almost legendary. Their story, from a determined critic to your most passionate defender, will circulate among circles you didn't even know existed. People who once entertained their suspicions will now be fascinated by what could have shifted someone so deeply embedded in doubt. Their public confession, their humility in admitting they were wrong, will validate your character more powerfully than any curated testimonial or carefully crafted recommendation ever could. Just like Saul's transformation into Paul became an indelible story of redemption and divine intervention, Acts 9, the investigator's journey will echo as proof that no one is beyond transformation when faced with pure, unwavering authenticity. As these stories gain momentum, doors will begin to open for you with an ease that feels almost miraculous. But here's the beautiful part: you won't be orchestrating any of it. You won't be manipulating or strategizing to place yourself in the right rooms. Instead, opportunities will begin to magnetize toward you naturally. Authenticity has a gravitational pull. Just as light irresistibly draws all that seeks warmth and clarity, your unwavering commitment to truth will draw people, resources, and opportunities directly into your path. Isaiah 61 declares, "Arise, shine, for your light has come, and the glory of the Lord rises upon you." Can you feel this happening within your spirit? Problems that used to drain your energy, the endless explaining, the defending, the trying to convince people of your sincerity will begin to evaporate. Situations that once felt overwhelming will shrink in scale, becoming manageable or even irrelevant, simply because you are operating from a place of absolute alignment. You're going to begin realizing something even deeper and more profound. All these tests and betrayals, all the misinterpretations and doubts, were never about breaking you. They were divine instruments shaping you for a larger role. Every single moment when you chose grace over retaliation, integrity over comfort, vulnerability over performance, each of these was a quiet rehearsal for a global stage. You are not just being honored for your character, you are being prepared to become a living blueprint for others. John 14:12 promises, "Very truly I tell you, whoever believes in me will do the works I have been doing, and they will do even greater things than these." You, chosen one, are stepping into this prophecy. Your journey has never been merely about personal growth or private victory. It has always been about becoming a radiant signal to the world, proof that integrity is not a naive fantasy, but a revolutionary reality. That loyalty is not a weakness, but an unshakable strength. That genuine goodness is not an act, but a living, breathing way of being. As you awaken to this larger role, you'll see that the transformations you sparked in these three souls were just the beginning. They will become ambassadors for a revolution of authenticity. Their lives will become walking testimonies that ripple out into their families, friendships, workplaces, and wider communities. The investigator's story of moving from cynicism to trust will inspire other chronic skeptics to reconsider their armor. The admirer's newfound courage will encourage countless others paralyzed by shame to step forward and reveal their hearts. The cynic's emergence from self-imposed exile will become a beacon of hope to those who have hidden themselves away, convinced that connection is too risky. Romans 8:19 tells us, "For the creation waits in eager expectation for the children of God to be revealed." You are now that revelation. Your recognition revolution is only just beginning. As these stories circulate, more and more people will start to gravitate toward you, drawn not to a brand or a persona, but to the living energy of truth that you embody. You will find yourself stepping into leadership roles, not because you sought them out, but because the world desperately needs real examples of what's possible when a soul commits fully to living in alignment. Imagine walking into a room and feeling no need to prove yourself. Instead, people approach you with curiosity, respect, and quiet reverence. They'll want to know, how did you develop such unwavering integrity? How did you maintain your light when so many others chose darkness? How did you continue to love and stand strong without letting the bitterness of the world shape you? And here's the divine irony. You'll realize that this recognition was never really about you at all. It isn't about elevating your name or inflating your ego. It's about what you represent. You have become a living, breathing testimony to the possibility of divine alignment, a proof point that living with absolute integrity isn't just possible but wildly magnetic and transformative. Look at figures like Mother Teresa, who never sought fame but attracted global recognition because her life embodied selfless love. Or think of Desmond Tutu, whose relentless advocacy for peace and forgiveness radiated far beyond South Africa. You are stepping into this lineage of quiet but unstoppable spiritual leaders who change the world not by force but by being. James 1:22 instructs us, "Do not merely listen to the word and so deceive yourselves. Do what it says." You are now the embodiment of that instruction. Your words and actions have merged into a seamless stream of truth. As your life settles into this new rhythm, you will notice that the energy once spent defending yourself is now freed up for building, healing, and leading. You will have more capacity for creativity, more bandwidth for visioning, more energy to guide others into their own authenticity. People will stop questioning your motives and start studying your methods. They'll stop wondering if your kindness is real and start asking how they can cultivate the same depth of presence and grace. You will become a living classroom, and your life, every choice, every silence, every boundary will become the syllabus. Through this, you'll come to understand that being chosen isn't about special privileges or elevated status. It's about radical responsibility. It's about holding the line for love when it's inconvenient, about choosing light when darkness would be easier, about staying open when the world demands you close. Philippians 2:15 calls us to shine among them like stars in the sky as you hold firmly to the word of life. You, chosen one, are that star. So I ask you, are you ready to become not just a witness to transformation, but its embodiment? Are you prepared to accept that your very presence will continue to disrupt, awaken, and inspire everywhere you go? The time of hiding is over. The time of shrinking to make others comfortable is gone. This is the age of luminous authenticity, and you are at its forefront. Embrace this new chapter not with pride, but with profound humility. Understand that the power flowing through you is not yours to possess, but yours to steward. You are the vessel, the conduit, the living altar upon which the divine writes new possibilities for all to see. Chosen one, step forward. The world is watching, heaven is celebrating, and all of creation is waiting to see how brightly you will choose to shine. Chosen one, as we arrive at this final chapter of your unfolding story, take a moment to breathe deeply and let the weight and the wonder of all this sink in. The three souls whose lives have collided so powerfully with yours will continue walking their own sacred paths toward authenticity. Each of them, now transformed by your silent influence, will ripple their newfound truth into their families, friendships, and communities. They will become walking reminders that radical change is not only possible, but contagious when ignited by a pure, unwavering example like yours. As you watch them grow, stumble, and rise again, you'll come to a revelation so simple yet so profound. Being chosen was never about having extraordinary abilities or mystical powers. It has always been about being so fully, fearlessly yourself that your mere existence becomes a mirror for others to see where they are wearing masks. Can you feel that? You are not a preacher shouting from a pulpit. You are a living sermon in motion. Your quiet, unwavering authenticity becomes a permission slip for everyone around you to finally ask themselves, what would my life look like if I stopped performing and started being? Imagine the sound of a perfectly tuned instrument vibrating in a room full of out-of-tune strings. Your spirit is that tuning fork, pure, steady, clear. In your presence, the illusions people have clung to begin to tremble and crack, not because you're exposing anyone on purpose, but because authenticity is a frequency so high and so true that all falsehood eventually sounds discordant beside it. Your life's melody makes every counterfeit note unbearable to maintain. What began as humiliation for some, the investigators' exposed schemes, the admirers' paralyzing self-doubt, the cynic's defensive sarcasm, becomes the fertile soil for their rebirth. Their initial shame transforms into deep reverence, gratitude, and eventually liberation. Each one of them will tell their stories for years to come of how a single soul who refused to betray their own essence shattered their illusions and called them home to themselves. Luke 8:17 reminds us, "For there is nothing hidden that will not be disclosed, and nothing concealed that will not be known or brought out into the open." Your life embodies this scripture. You didn't set out to reveal secrets or to change others by force. You simply lived in alignment with who you really are, and that pure light did the work only light can do: expose, illuminate, and heal. As this wave of authenticity spreads, opportunities and connections you never dreamed possible will begin to appear. Invitations will come from unexpected directions. Hearts that were once closed will open. Resources you didn't even know you needed will flow toward you like rivers finding the sea. Not because you manipulated energy or crafted a perfect strategy, but because the universe and heaven itself cannot resist a soul living in radical truth. Galatians 6:9 promises us, "Let us not become weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up." Your harvest season has arrived, chosen one. The seeds of kindness, integrity, and unyielding authenticity that you planted in silence and solitude are now blossoming before your eyes. There will come a moment when you fully understand that the recognition coming your way isn't truly about you as an individual. Rather, it's about what your life represents. You are the living evidence that it is possible to align actions with values, to bridge words with deeds, to fuse the internal knowing with the external expression. You're becoming an archetype, a lighthouse for souls lost in the storm of pretense and survival strategies. As the revolution of authenticity begins to take root, remember, you are not just the spark, you are the flame. You are not just the example, you are the living proof that another way of being is possible, and more than that, it is powerful beyond imagination. Nelson Mandela once said, "As we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same." Chosen one, you are that radiant light. And now as you walk into this new phase of your life, you're not just stepping into destiny, you're opening a new portal for humanity itself. I want to pause and offer you my deepest gratitude for walking this journey so bravely and faithfully. Thank you for your unwavering commitment to your truth, even when no one else seemed to understand. Thank you for being the living embodiment of integrity when the world around you screamed for shortcuts and masks. And thank you for allowing me to walk beside you, to witness and to amplify your story. If you felt the resonance of this message deep in your bones, I invite you to support this channel through Super Thanks. Your generosity keeps this space alive, allowing these soul-igniting messages to continue reaching chosen ones across the world. But hear me clearly, whether you choose to donate or not, you are profoundly appreciated. Your presence here, your energy, and your willingness to engage with these truths are more valuable than any monetary gift. Every like, every comment, every moment you spend reflecting on these words, it is all deeply felt and deeply honored. You have no idea how many souls are quietly awakening right now because you chose to show up in your light. And as you continue forward, I speak blessings over you. May your path be illuminated with divine guidance at every step. May doors open before you with miraculous ease. May every seed of love and integrity you've sown return to you 1,000-fold. May your heart remain soft yet strong, tender yet unbreakable. May you always remember that you are never alone. Heaven watches, the universe conspires, and your spirit family surrounds you with silent applause. Philippians 4:13 declares, "I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me." Carry this truth as your armor and your anthem. When doubts arise, when shadows whisper their lies, remember, you are exactly who heaven declared you to be. Your authenticity is not fragile. It is a divine weapon forged beyond time. Chosen one, this is not the end. This is your grand beginning. The recognition phase is not a trophy ceremony. It is the unfolding of a larger assignment that will call forth every ounce of your courage, love, and divine power. Welcome to your destiny. You are ready. You are anointed. You are the revolution. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening with an open heart. And thank you for simply being you. Now go forth and shine. Heaven is watching. The world is waiting, and the story you write from this moment on will echo through eternity.